My life completely changed. But first, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Brand Victoria, your new manifestation / mindset coach, and I help you get results manifesting so that you can manifest your dreams. You don't have to wait. We don't do waiting around here, and there is no 6-year time lag, no 6-month time lag. You just stick with me, make sure you press that subscribe button, and watch the magic unfold. I was actually so inspired to make this video because I got a comment the other day and she was like, I would love to hear more about what you manifested from your program, right? So, and it just got me thinking, like, you know what? What did I manifest? And then I started making a list of all these amazing things I manifested. I was like, I gotta make a video on this. Okay, so just to give you a little backstory on myself, I got pregnant at 19, so I was doing the whole single mom thing at 20, and I just felt like I was in a super low place. As you can imagine, a 20-year-old that, barely has worked before and doesn't have her degree and still has the programming and mindset of you have to work and get into retire, have this whole retirement plan, and it didn't resonate with me, but that's what I was conditioned. I was conditioned to think that way. Just, you can imagine, right? So from there, I just felt so hopeless. I was at a really low point in my life because I was like, okay, after I had my son, I was like, all right, so I got to get back in school. And I was completing my associate's degree in business administration, but it was tough at that time because my mind was everywhere. And let's keep in mind though, my mental state at the time, because growing up, I had a lot of depression going on and it never was really resolved. So going forward in my life, since this unresolved thing was there, it turned into this big tailspin of anxiety with spouts of being depressed. It was a whole thing because I didn't understand my emotions. So what happened though, was I was at this low point and I felt hopeless. I was like, this cannot be happening. This is the lowest of the lows. And my mom told me about The Secret. Now, this wasn't the first time that I heard about The Secret, but this time it resonated with me. And I was like, maybe I'll watch it now. Because she told me about this when I was in high school, but I was like, yeah, okay, this magic fairy dust stuff, it doesn't work. But yeah, at this time I was ready for the information. So I watched it. I was fascinated by it because it was like I seen all these people having these success stories on there. Bob Proctor, Joe Vitale, I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I was like, okay, so my situation isn't permanent, but I'm the type of person where I love to get down to the root of things. Like, how does this manifestation actually work? Because with The Secret, yes, they tell you, ask, believe, receive, and all of that good stuff, law of attraction. But what else is going on to get to that point, right? And you probably have that question too, or have always had that question okay, I seen The Secret, but how do I apply this stuff in my life? Stick with me on this, y'all, and watch your life change completely too. So I got into Neville Goddard after that, read Bob Proctor books. If y'all seen my Kindle library, you would be like, dang, this girl really reads. But going forward from there, I got into all these different people. Then I started taking manifestation courses. And I got to the point where I was taking the courses and having coaching. Now, this is where the manifestations start coming in, y'all, because I manifested my ideal coach. And this started to become a trend where I was manifesting my ideal coaches. I was manifesting being in the courses that I desired to be in. Because I manifested 2 scholarships, not 1, but 2. Yes. And I know whenever I have my eyes set on a course, if it's something I actually really desire, I'm getting that thing. Everything in the universe, everything is aligning for me to have that course. I'm shifting right into that reality. Well, I got the course, or boom, I got the coach. So that's something that I've manifested and keep on manifesting. And another thing that I've manifested was my car. And my car is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's paid off, and she's a beauty. Another thing that started happening for me as I was learning all of this stuff, because I was like, yes, now it's time for me to be a coach in discovering what my passion was. Because I was doing this stuff so much that it was like, you know what? Why don't I just coach people on this? Like, I get this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. And this is that type of thing where there is constant growth, more clarity, there's so many levels to it. So I started coaching on it, and y'all, this energizes me so much. I can go on and talk about this stuff for days and days and days, and probably talk to a wall too. So, but it's an interesting thing. And make sure y'all subscribe at the bottom though, so that when my next video comes out, you will be listening to it and watching it and getting the inside scoop, because I am going to start putting more like exclusive videos on my YouTube, because I got the inspired action. I was like, I'm feeling YouTube now. I'll still be posting on my TikTok, but YouTube, you're going to get some exclusive videos, because I am ready to give y'all this knowledge that is just, you're ready for it. And that's what this is about. You're ready for this knowledge. You're ready to start up leveling in your manifestations. You're ready to have it. This is that thing. And you watching this is that thing that tips the scale for you so that you start manifesting an overflow. Let me give y'all the highlight of something that is just really every time I think about it, my mind is blown. So I was living with my family, right? I had my own room, everything. Like it was a really nice setup, Can you relate? And there was this day though. It was around the 4th of July of, I don't remember what year it was, 2020, 2021, something like that. And so I went to go visit my dad, right? So I packed enough clothes for, a holiday weekend. And so I went over there. And then I had the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go visit my sister. After that, I went to go visit my sister in another state. And then I ended up staying there. And mind you, y'all, I had about 5 pairs of clothes, 4 or 5 pairs of clothes. I was living with her. I was sleeping on her floor. There was this futon, and I was sleeping on that futon at first with my son, but then he was moving too much. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even go to sleep. So I slept on the floor there. And so I went from sleeping on that floor every day while I was there to having my ideal apartment from my vision board. And when I was in that situation though, I was doing so much inner development. I had a journal with me. I was shifting limiting beliefs like you would not believe, because that is the only thing that is between you and your desire. These limiting beliefs. You shift the limiting beliefs and boom, you got it. You shift right into the reality of having it. So I had this notebook with me, the journal, and I would just keep on shifting over and over and over again. And a lot of you have the question where you're like, well, how many times do I shift my limiting beliefs? Do I just do it in the morning and at night? Do I do it 10 times a day? You do it every single time a limiting belief comes up. Like for me, it was like, okay, I'm manifesting living on my own, being independent, having more than enough money to support myself. And when a belief comes up that says, that'll never happen, you're going to have to do something that you hate to do that, to get that. You shift it. Now, if you want me to make a video on shifting your limiting beliefs, let me know in the comments. Just type in or comment below belief. Let me know, because y'all, This is my passion. This is what I love to do. So, and if you binge my content, I have so much content to binge on TikTok and Instagram and all of the socials. But I digress. When I did this though, my life did a 360. I had my vision board, and on my vision board, something that I actually put to, and so we're going to just throw this in the mix. I went on Canva, and so basically I took a screenshot of my Instagram and I edited in Canva and put 8K for the followers. At the time I had like 2,000 and something followers, but I put 8K because I was like, you know what? That's what I want. And so I put that on there. I put my ideal apartment, and then I also wrote down all the details of the apartment that I wanted. Like I wanted it to be super close to shopping centers. I wanted it to have a balcony, washer and dryer connection, safe area, like the whole shebang, right? I actually have a video on that somewhere, but we're going to go over it now. So that's what I put on there. All right. You're following, right? Okay. So when I did that, I started shifting beliefs more and more and more and more. And I got my ideal coach. Remember, I told y'all, even though I was sleeping on the floor there, I got a coach. That was the coach that I desired at the time. So you know what? Everything rearranged itself for me to have that. And I did. And then from there, I ended up, guess what? In the apartment, the ideal apartment that I'm in right now. I ended up there and I was like, oh my gosh. And then it didn't stop there. I got to 8K followers on Instagram. Way over. You know what? Actually, let's scratch that, because now that I'm thinking about it with my vision board, it actually said 5K. It was 5K on my vision board and I got to 8K. Yeah, that's what it was. So because I remember I exceeded the goal. So I was like over the moon about this stuff. This is how fast manifestation can work. This is how easy. And me now in the position that I'm in, I know even more, because at that time, I knew about limiting beliefs and I had my methods that I, would teach clients and students and things of that nature. But now the way that I teach and coach is in a whole new ball game, y'all. And make sure y'all, I came up with my CEO Manifestor Workbook Bundle that has been changing lives. It just like it changed my life. I put what I knew into that workbook just for you. And it's a bundle though, so that you get the meditation that is just chef's kiss, so that you can just start manifesting money out of thin air. It is the money airflow meditation. So money is as easy to manifest as the air you breathe in. This is no ordinary workbook though. And I'm excited about this because this also ties into everything, because I manifested making this. It was out of inspiration, inspired action that I did this thing. But it has in there a morning routine blueprint, because I'm the type of person where I don't like to do the same morning routine every single day. If I knew for a fact that I had to do the same morning routine for 60 days, y'all, I throw my hands up. I throw them up. Are you like that too, where you get so freaking bored of doing the same thing every day, right? So I put that in there so that you can mix and match morning routines up so you can keep it fun and fresh. So the link for that is in the description below, y'all. And beyond that though, I just got so much more clarity on this stuff. I got even better. I fine-tuned it where I'm constantly being spoon-fed inspired actions to take. So no, we don't, listen, we do not just take miscellaneous action over here. We take all the right actions every single time. We get the inspired actions. And I can show y'all, this is what I teach my clients and students on how to have that electricity so that you do not have to work harder. This is an effortless thing. So me making this video, was this hard to do? I got the inspired action to do this. It's not hard at all. That's why this video is so long, because I'm enjoying this video. Don't work yourself. Do not work yourself up, y'all. because you do not have to spend hours and hours planning things. Oh, how do I do this in my business? It's going to take me a process, a while to really, hone in on this. No, it doesn't. You don't have to wait for the next inspired action. You get the inspired action. You keep on getting them every single time. So that's how it goes. And I'm at the point where I know this stuff. I know it. I've seen it change lives. I've seen it change clients' lives. I've seen where one of my clients, she did not like where she lived. She felt like it was unsafe. She felt like, the place was just falling apart. She wanted more. And when you want more, you desire more, you get more because that's what you're worthy of. So guess what she manifested? A check in the mail. And and I used to think when people had those stories of checks in the mail, I used to be like, seriously? But it happened for her. It's happened for me. That stuff can happen for you too. It is not out of your reach. And I am just here to be that mirror for you, that reflective mirror, so that you know that you're worthy and you're deserving of the things that you desire. That's what I'm here for. And I can teach y'all so much about this. We're going to go into a whole thing with all of this. Make sure that you subscribe. I appreciate you for subscribing at the bottom, because I'm telling you point blank right now, if you stick with me, you are going to see overflow in your life.